Hey everyone, Rachel here from Curly Quilt. Today I'm here with a quilting tag-along series. The quilt top behind me is the Merry Mini Quilt. It was a free Christmas in July Sewalong that Fatquartershop had. When it first came out, I printed off the first block. I knew I wasn't really going to have time to work on it in the summer because I was in the middle of finishing up a lot of projects that I kind of talked about in my last video. You know, I had a firefly quilt that I finished that I still haven't taken any pictures of. I need to do that. And there's like some other projects that I was working on, and so I printed off the first block and I saved it for myself because I knew in December I'd have a lot more time to do sewing, and especially in December I love to just work on solely Christmas related projects. It makes the season a little bit more, you know, fun and cozy for me, and I actually get a lot done. And I love to sew my own like Christmas decor, Christmas, you know, pillows and things like that, because the Christmas decorations can really add up quickly. So I'd rather they be, you know, homemade and made with a lot of love and things like that. So I actually did get this Merry Mini Quilt top finished in December, so you know that totally counts. All it really needs now is some quilting, and I decided I wanted to free motion quilt it with some silver metallic thread, which I have right here. This is a brand, let's see, I don't know if it'll zoom in or not. I don't know how to do this part, I'm sorry. There it goes. It's Metler silver metallic thread. I've worked with it before. I've done a machine embroidery with it. I've done free motion quilting with it, straight line quilting with it, and it's always been pretty easy to work with as long as you know how to set yourself up for success. The number one thing is you want to make sure you have a metallic needle. You can get them from Schmetz. I think you can get them in other brands too, like Class A and things like that. And the size is going to depend on what size your thread is. I do believe this is a 40 weight, and it's 55% polyester and 45% polyamide. I don't know what that is. And so the reason why you want to have a metallic needle is because the eye of the needle is extra long, and so it helps prevent the thread from breaking and things like that. Another thing you really want to think about too is having an external thread stand to put the thread on. You know, when it comes off the spool, it's really tightly wound, and you want to make sure that it slackens off actually before it hits your needle. That'll help also with your thread breaking. But no, if you're going to work with metallic thread, no matter what you do, it is going to break on you. And it's usually like the last, you know, 250 stitches that metallic thread's like, meh, I don't really want to work for you anymore. Oh, did you just change the needle? Oh, I'm still gonna break on you. So be prepared for that. Right towards the end of your quilting project, the metallic thread always tends to be like, bleh, ha ha ha. It feels like it's kind of laughing at you, but have patience. Take a deep breath and just, you know, rethread it and keep going. Slow down at that point. If you have a speed control in your sewing machine, really slow down. So that's the thread I plan on using. I only have one spool because I figured in the bobbin I was going to use just a regular thin white thread. It actually usually helps not to have this in your bobbin anyway. It's going to cause a lot of tension issues as well. So it's a pretty tiny quilt top actually. I don't have a final measurement on it, but hold on, let me get a ruler. It's 23 by 23 and a quarter, so it is supposed to be square. I already squared it off as much as I could. I don't really mind if it's a 1/4 inch off. I'm not one of those people who's a big stickler for finished size quilt tops. Some people are like, it has to be this exact measurement because that's what the pattern said, and it's like, does it really though? Because it's not going on a bed, it's just a wall hanging slash couch, like a couch quilt, like for the kitty to sleep on. I can put it on one of the pillows on the couch, and the You can have like a little Christmas quilt. I think that'd be cute because I didn't make them a stocking this year. I really wanted to. But anyway, I did have this really pretty fabric. Let's see, can you see it? Let me do a different light here. And this is Winter Tales for Riley Blake Designs by Minky Kim. This is fabric I bought last year actually, so I don't know if it's still out there or not. I'll try to see if I can find a link for it. I doubt it. I might not look very hard either. I feel like if you're on YouTube, you already know how to use the internet, so if you hear about things on a YouTube video, you should be able to look them up yourself. I mean, I'll try to link as much as I can, but that's a lot of work. So yeah, I've had 2 yards of this since last year. It's really fun. It's a nice light creamy color, which really goes with the quilt top itself. I did use a lot of light colors. In a minute, I'll turn the camera around to the quilt top so you can kind of see it a little bit up close. There was also some fabric in there that I got last year with these really cute little foxes and Christmas presents and Christmas trees, and it's really soft, delicate, and it has a blue background, which I had never actually worked with blue as a Christmas color before, so it was kind of fun this year to go outside of my normal creative boxes. I usually stick to the classic red and green, but this year, I think in my last video I talked about, I did the Christmas tree skirt, and that was like a red and cream, which was, it came out really good. I really like that tree skirt. And this quilt top, I did the blue and the pastel pink, some light greens and things like that. So I think it came out really well. And so I just kind of wanted to do this video series to show you guys how my creative process goes, especially when it comes to free motion quilting. I think a lot of people are really intimidated by it. They don't think they can do it because they can't draw well. And I'm going to be upfront with you, I cannot draw very well at all. And so, but I can doodle. Everybody can doodle because it's really just a repetitious movement. Most people only doodle a certain amount of sort of like images and icons. For me, I like to doodle eyeballs for whatever reason, little birds, like rounded little birdies. There's very few things that I enjoy doodling, and one of the things I do like to doodle happens to be that the figure 8, but like an elongate, and so doing wishbones was really easy for me. I tend to stick to free motion motifs that are comfortable for me, and yes, I do want to experiment with more designs and things like that in the future, but I find that if you're comfortable with doing design, especially on something that's really special to you, go ahead and stick with it. You don't always have to go full tilt with your quilting, with your free motion quilting. It doesn't have to be all feathers and swirls if you don't want it to be. You can do a meander, and meanders look really good. Circles, pebbling looks really, really nice. I might actually do pebbling in the white areas to make it look like snow. That would be kind of interesting. I'm doing this as sort of a creative video too, so I'm thinking about some things. So for now, I'll go ahead and turn the camera around so you can see the, oh, I did want to show the pattern. I was going to show the quilt blocks on the pattern. Where did I put it? Oh. Let me see. So those are all 4 blocks from the Merry Mini Quilt. I was trying to cover up all the numbers because, I mean, yes, it is a free download, but you should really go to Fatquartershop.com and download it for yourself because they have really cute fabric on that website. They do a lot of really great tutorial videos too. I like them a lot. Anyway, I'm gonna turn the camera around. All right, everyone, I turned the camera around, and so here's the Merry Mini Quilt. Here is, I believe, the snowflake block. That is a poinsettia. And what's really cool is the pink fabric. All the pink fabric is some vintage pink fabric I bought a few years ago from a quilt show. And here's the house. And I really just played around with kind of fun scraps that I had. I did have to buy the green and like that dark blue glacial fabric. I did end up having to buy those to supplement what was in my stash, but everything else actually did come from my stash. The foxes with the presents and the Christmas trees, the pink, and then the white on white sort of florals. I've had that in my scrap bin for a while. Oh, and this sort of metallic leafy with the pinks and the blues, I had that as well. And so I thought it was an interesting juxtaposition of sort of textures and colors. And I actually really liked the way it turned out. It's really balanced with the position of the blocks and everything like that. So I'm really excited actually to quilt this. So I will reset the camera somewhere else so you guys can see my process and how I get started. I think I will do some straight line quilting first to base everything down, especially since it's a relatively small top. It's only 23 inches by 23 and a quarter at this moment, and I have squared it off already, so I'm not going to really mess around with it anymore. I don't want to cut into anything else. Well, I guess I could cut into the bottom. I think I'll just leave it as is. All right, I will reset the camera.